Welcome back to Donuts in Space and part 7 of the HMS Defender build. We made a fair amount of progress actually, to be fair, considering it doesn't look as though we've done any work, but we have. The hangar bay roof, that's in properly now. I checked the reference pictures and there shouldn't be any stepped areas down there, so we've got rid of those. I had to sand those down. And then I just went in with the perfect plastic putty and filled up all the holes and got that sanded down. Done exactly the same to the back, the back end of the superstructure for the hangar bay. Just basically used the perfect plastic putty to get that sorted out, and that worked. There should be a little hole in this part here for another part to go in. I'm not sure what part it is, to be fair, but there should be a hole there. Obviously I've filled that in now, so there is no hole. What I will do is I will either drill a hole deep enough or wide enough for the part, or I just chop the little nipple off and then just glue it on with super glue, because that now at the moment this particular part is just mainly all putty holding that thing together, so it is going to be rather delicate. We've also got the top part on now. The radar does actually fit on top of that. I'm not going to put that on just yet, to be honest, because at the end of the day everything still needs a good old blast of the matte clear over that. We also had to put this part of the superstructure on, mainly because we had to put that on first to then be able to get the bridge on. Otherwise it was just going to be too much of a pain in the backside to try and get this part of the superstructure on. And it was just going to basically knock off all the ladders and everything, so it was just best to put this superstructure on and then put the bridge on. So all the wires for that are actually fed through, and they're now coming out the bottom of the ship. So the next thing for me to do really is to get the wrapping wire and solder that onto, or cut down the ends of the wires really for the SMDs, then solder on the wrapping wire and also the resistors, and get them glued to the inside of the hull just to help protect those and make sure that nothing untoward happens to them. Do the same for the back as well. We are going to need to mark those as well, because we've got the red and the cool white SMDs in there, so we just have to, once we've wired them all up and tested them again, we just have to mark those off so we know which ones are which. So yeah, that's that part all done. She's looking quite good. The other thing that I need to do for this area is just underneath these, well, little wings I suppose you could call them, there are meant to be some rods, or well, pylons, whatever you want to call them, underneath this to help support it. So what I'll do is I'll just use the 0.5mm brass rods that I've got and just make a couple of those quickly for those, get them painted and then stick them in with a bit of super glue. And then it's the same as well for the bridge superstructure. There is meant to be a pylon holding those up as well, so on each side, so I'll do exactly the same for those as well. It's not going to be too much of a biggie really, just to cut those out and put them in. I'll more than likely end up doing those last minute as well. There is a couple of holes up here that I need to fill in where I misplaced these are quite tricky actually to try and get placed properly, and I still don't think they are, but it's difficult to try and get them placed. So you can understand why they didn't really want to supply them in the kit, to be fair, because it is a bit of a pain in the backside to try and do those. So yeah, not exactly even, but they do actually help. I had to take out the two back ones to be able to paint this section. Still need to paint these three bits here. I'm not sure what those parts are actually, to be quite honest. I would imagine they're some kind of radar system, whatever. Not quite sure, but yeah, I need to get those painted in the light ghost grey as well. But yeah, quite happy. She's not looking too bad, to be fair. So I will come back to you as soon as I've got some more work done to this wee beastie of mine. We've now got the lights for the bridge and the helicopter hangar bay all wired up now, and they're working quite nicely. All the wires have been insulated, tucked up into the hull and super glued into place, so they're as safe as houses. They won't go anywhere now, which is always the worry when you're dealing with SMDs, because the wires on those are so teeny tiny that the wires, if you're not careful, can snap if there's too much pressure put on them. And with the temporary stand that the kit's on, I have actually drilled a hole through the base of it there, just so I can feed the wires through to keep me from trapping them in places where we don't need them trapped in. We've got 3 sets of hot wires, or live wires, whatever you want to call them, coming through. So we've got the one for the green lights on the bridge. We've then got one for the red lights in the hangar and one for the cool white lights in the hangar, and then we've also got a common ground. So basically all of the lights have been fixed to a single ground wire, or negative wire, whichever way you want to say it. It just helps with wire management, really, to be fair, I think, more than anything else. And it saves using a crap ton of wires as well at the end of the day. So what I'll do is I'll get the base switched on. I mean, obviously it's still just running on my bench power supply at the moment. What I can do is no, that's the wrong one, that's the positive, my lord, I don't want to do that. Let's get that on there. That's it. And at the moment I've also named the positives as well, so I know which ones are which. So we start with the bridge lights and the red hangar bay lights. Now I think, if I'm to be honest, I got the hue of these lights down. They're not bright, but they're not really dull either. Let's get the lights off. And let's see if have we got the, yep, we are. It's alright, they're just so they're, as I say, they're not really bright, so it's in light you have a struggle seeing them, and that's because of at night time you shouldn't really see them from a distance. But yeah, let's have a little look. If we get the ship and turn it on to the aft end, hopefully you should be able to see the lights coming into view there. Yep, there you go. So as you can see, it's just a very faint glow to simulate the effect of the instrument panels that they've got on. And then if we turn this around and point the back end at the camera, you can see there we've got the red lights, and you can see really from there that there's not a real amount of glow that comes out of those, which is great. So let's put the model back down on the bench, turn the lights back on, and then we can take a look at the once we get them all sorted out, we can then go to, I'll just hook up the cool whites for the hangar bay this time. That's it, so we don't need to look at the bridge again. There we go. So, oh no, sorry, that was That was the red lights again. I haven't got my reading glasses on, so I can't really see what the wires are saying. That's the green ones, that's the cool white ones. Would have to be the third one that I choose, wouldn't it? Now let's see if we can get this wire in. Come on. That's it, we're in. Right, so now I'm not, you can't even see it from there, but there is, for me, a slight glow coming out of the hangar bay. I mean, at the end of the day, you would never see the white lights on board of a night time anyway. It's only during the day, but there you go. That's what they look like. So that's lit up really nicely on the inside without it affecting the glow on the outside of the ship. Let's just get that back on its base. There we go. So yeah, that's what that looks like. Let's get the other lights on. So yeah, I believe I got the scale of the lights correct there. I think they're in scale. One of the other things that I've done, let's just get those lights turned out, there we go, is on the front of this ship where the deck gun is, I've taken off the old mount there for the other gun. It's basically the same as this. Where is it? There it is. So it's sort of like, push it on and twist it to keep it on. That needed to come off of that, to be fair, because the aftermarket resin gun doesn't come with the same attachments, so that needed to be removed. I totally forgot about that, to be fair. It didn't take too long to do it. I mean, I just basically used a very sharp blade to remove all of that, and then just gave it a quick sand down on the edges there, and the cannon will now fit on the deck there quite nicely. So yeah, all in all, quite happy with the progress on this now. Sorry, excuse me. So the next thing for me to do on this kit now is basically to get some clear lacquer on the parts of the superstructure that have been put on. Unfortunately, I didn't put any clear lacquer on those parts, which was a bit of an oversight on my part, really, to be fair. But it's not really going to matter if I just put some clear lacquer over those at the moment. It's not really going to interfere with anything else on the ship. I mean, once the whole thing's done, it's going to need to be coated down in the matte clear varnish anyway, so it's not so much of an issue from that point of view. Again, I'm not really going to take this any further than that, really. I'll just get the weathering bits done to the superstructures there and redo some weathering on this part, just to get that up to snuff. And I think what I might do as well is just put the decals on the side of the funnel there that we've got, and if there's any more around the front area, then I'll put those on as well, and then I can clear coat those again, do the weathering, and then leave it at that for the minute. I'm still waiting for the stand to come in for this kit, to be fair, so I can't really do anything else. This superstructure here, because of the amount of photo etch that's already gone onto that, I'm not going to add that on until such time that the ship's actually in the seascape and basically ready to go, to be fair. I've also got photo etch that still needs to be put onto this part, but again, I'm not going to do that until such time that the ship itself is in the seascape. And the reason being is the fact that I do tend to forget about my situational awareness sometimes, because I just concentrate so much on that one thing that I'm doing that everything else doesn't kind of exist. and I know for a fact that I will actually end up damaging the photo etch if I was to start putting that on now. And the other thing I will be doing as well is working from the top down rather than from the bottom up, again, because I know that I just, with my ham fists that I've got and my sausage fingers, I will actually end up damaging the photo etch. So I'd rather sort of put it all on last before the deck railings go on. And then, as I say, I just work from the top down. That's just, for me, the safest bet, really. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I think I might leave this video here, actually. I think it's just going to be a natural break-in point for this, to be fair, because, as I say, I'm just waiting for the stand to come in before I do anything else. And what I can do is just start getting figures painted up to put in various places around the kit as well. And they are rather teeny tiny. So that's it. Okay, I will catch up with you in, I believe it's part 8 of this kit. So until then, thanks for watching, and as always, please do take care.